All right, guys, good morning. We have a question that we want to revisit from Friday. I'm going to turn this over to King for just a moment.
Okay. Jessica, are you able to come off mute?
I'm here. Good morning.
Good morning. I remember you had a question on Friday. Can you repeat it?
Yes, I had a question about indicators because
Uh,
I kind of feel confused because I see several indicators and I wanted to just figure out what's the best indicator to use. So I actually went back over the weekend and kind of looked at Mark's night five.
Okay. Okay, so I think I kind of answered that on Friday. Do you need me to go deeper?
Sure.
Okay. Well, what I'm going to say is, I guess depending on which indicator you need or what you're using it for, is where you're going to apply it. But indicators are something that we use for confirmation, right? Further confirmation. And it's not specific to which one you use. Now we have different setups. Like Mark has the flawless setup. We have the three kings, six rings, and those are just basically multiple indicators and oscillators all in one place, and we use that as a system. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So it's not really about which specific indicator, it's kind of which ones. So these are all tools that we're using, right? So it's kind of which ones speak to you. Like some of us use Windows laptops, some of us use Apple laptops or MacBooks, right? Recently, I was using a Lenovo and I switched over to MacBook. It doesn't specifically make my MacBook better than my Lenovo, right? It's just a different tool to achieve the objective, if that makes sense.
It does.
Yeah, so I guess specifically, I thought maybe you had a question on a specific indicator that we could maybe share screen and then look at it, kind of break it down. Excuse me, but if this is just a general question about, indicators and how we use them, that's pretty much they're just tools that we use for extra layers of confirmation.
Okay. I think I'm just right now, I'm just trying to figure out which indicator works better for me. So that's just where I'm at now. And that's just basically for me going back to the videos and rewatching them.
Okay, and then once you see them on the videos, put them in a setup and test them. That's what we normally do. We back test them and we try to cross reference them against other data to make sure that they are correct. Neil, if you want to tap in, Neil has a crazy process where he goes through indicators for sure, a little bit deeper, but generally, I just want you to understand that is no right or wrong with this. It's kind of based on preference, right? And the ones we're using are just ones we found to be more accurate or work better. And in our cases, right? But you may find something like I don't really care for that, so I'm going to change that or change this. And not me, Mark, that's not proper. Mark, Neil, and I all do the same. They suggest things to me all the time, and sometimes I use it, sometimes I don't, and vice versa when it comes to the indicators. But like I said, we just use those for extra layers of confirmation.
Yeah, just to piggyback off of what King is speaking on, um, yeah, I've gone through hundreds and hundreds of indicators to paint the picture that I want to see. What I look for specifically are indicators that really confirm the trend, because I guess ultimately that's what we're looking for, right? We're looking for any trends, especially if you're day trading, which is what I do the majority of the time. I'm looking for anything that confirms the trend. And when it confirms the trend, I want to make sure that it aligns with all of the other indicators that I'm using, right? So, for example, um, when I'm looking at the EMA, if I see the price point start to fall below the 50 EMA, now I'm looking at my other indicators to validate or to confirm that that's exactly what's happening. So now when those indicators are telling me, okay, it's time for you to be in a put because the price point is staying below the 50 EMA, then all right, perfect. Now I'm going to get into a put. And me personally, I can use anywhere between, I don't know, 5 to 10 indicators at one point. But again, it's just really for that different layer of confirmation. And once all of the indicators are in alignment, and it may not have to be 100%, at least maybe if I'm using 10, at least maybe 8 out of the 10 are showing me, okay, it's time for you to be in this specific play, then I'm just going to do whatever the chart is telling me to do. But ultimately, that's just what you want to do. You want to find any indicator or indicators that's going to paint the picture you want to see. So you may be looking for long-term plays. So then you want to look for an indicator that's going to confirm a long-term play. But like I said, I do more day trading than anything. So I'm looking for all of those indicators that's going to give me that short-term confirmation. I hope that helps.
Yes, it does. Thank you.
You're welcome. And next week, I'm actually gonna share some of the indicators that I do use, maybe one or two. And what I'm also gonna do too, I'm gonna break down the process on exactly how I break down each indicator that I use, right? Because a lot of times when we look at these indicators, we don't really understand what we're doing in the settings to help justify why the indicator is doing exactly what it's doing. So next week I'm going to do that. I actually may use that specific indicator that I can't remember the. Hold on, let me go into the Discord because that indicator was relatively dope. I've never seen that one before, and just looking at it, I was just playing with it, and I was like, man, this is good. Where's my Discord? Oh.
Well, while he's doing that, Vidal, I remember you asking a question about volume, and I told you I would address it. We're going to speak on volume on Wednesday, if not this Wednesday, next Wednesday. Still trying to gauge what you all need first, because I kind of try to gauge based off the class. But we're going to spend probably a few hours on volume alone, okay?
Okay, that's fine. I just kind of went, I started looking into the book and then just kind of took me down a rabbit hole and
That's perfect.
yeah.
That's what we want. That's the story of our lives.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, we got a few more minutes before my timer goes off. So please, I think Neil, are you taking us questions? I see JKG has his hand up.
Yeah, I'm just looking for a specific indicator that I suggested I may use as the indicator that I break down next week. I'm just trying to find it just to let everybody know which one I'm talking about.
Okay.
It's one of the ones that I can't remember the gentleman's name. I know it starts with an M, but
Marquise?
I think that was.
Oh, Marquise. Yeah, Marquise suggested one in the Discord.
What?
Nigga, why we go to
Whoa.
I'm sorry.
Somebody
All right, I got you muted, iPad.
Boy got in trouble early.
Good little laugh to get the day started, right?
Right, JKG7. Oh, go ahead, Neil. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. So yes, it was Marquise that did mention this indicator, and so the name of the indicator is the Strat Teach V2. He has it posted in the Discord, so if you go look at 2:21:25 at the 3:52 p.m. mark, you will not mark the individual, but the time frame. But you will see that specific indicator. It really does a lot for the sake of the strat in regards to when you're looking at the candles. So remember when we spoke last week when we were looking at the 1 candle, the 2 candle, and the 3 candle. So this one really speaks highly to that process. So especially for new individuals who don't really or are still struggling with how to read the candles, I think this one specifically will definitely help those who struggle with candle movements. So that one for sure, I want to pick that one down. I may even possibly put it to one of my charts. So yeah,
Be careful, everyone. The VIX is at $18.17. I got a next target of like 1865 and then 1908.
I'm back in Coinbase puts. I have target support is at on the 15-minute. Support is at 234.07.
Okay, let's address this question before Mark starts.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead, JK G7.
Just quick question. What do we think? I have all the indicators for Nike.
Say that again.
So what are we thinking for Nike?
So I'm glad you asked. I literally just dropped a signal on Nike and the Red E Society. I bought a Nike $80 call expiring June the 20th. I did a technical analysis this morning during my live. We're already in the money on Nike. I told you guys this morning on the live once we broke 78.62, and we were going to run to $80. Well, my crystal ball worked. We're at $80.47 on Nike right now.
Yeah, I saw that. I jumped in right when you said it, Mark.
Yeah, we are cooking, baby.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
That's the only thing I'm in. That and a Tesla put. That's it. I'm not doing nothing else this morning, so I can focus on y'all right now.
Tesla can be either way.
Yeah, Tesla's something else, man.
That's
real.
something else.
It's a little scary.
You know, I actually practiced risk management on my wife's account on some Tesla puts, and then as soon as I sold, what happened? Drop. Fell right to the ground. I'm like, dude, come on. But I'm really trying not to be in too much while we're live this morning because again, we gotta cook. Shoot, we gotta cook on this information. So my alarm's about to go off. You got 34 seconds.
Thank you.
Neil was in puts, iPhone. If I'm not mistaken, Neil was in puts. Coin puts, that is.
Nike is running.
That is correct. I'm in coin puts.
Intraday though, if you guys want a price target on Nike, I do see a slight reject on at $80.78. My price target, however, is $83.67. Okay. All right. That is our time. It's time to learn. It's time to learn. It's time. No, just playing. You know how they make them little kid songs about learning back in the day. At any rate, guys, let me go ahead and share my screen today. I want to talk about the pregame. The pre-market is probably one of the most important things that you and I both need as traders, right? It doesn't matter what level you are or how long you've been trading. Looking at the pre-market is always going to be key. So today, let's go a little bit deeper into it. Disclaimer, I want to tell you guys, I'm not a financial advisor. This is all for educational and informational purposes only. I cannot tell you what to buy or sell. Also, please understand that everything carries a risk and do your own research. If you want professional advice, I would highly recommend consulting a financial advisor. Okay. Now, I want to give you guys just the speed overview on how to look at these things on the go first. So I want to show you guys before I go to the next slide how I conduct my pre-market preparation when I'm on the go for work. I want you to see that first, and then we're going to slow it down and then backtrack and show you guys how to do it on the computer and some sites that I personally like to use that you could take note as you develop your own strategy, your own approach to pre-market analysis. Let's go take a look. Analysis on the phone. What you see right now is www.finviz.com. What I like to look at, as you guys have seen me do, is I like to look at the futures, right? Now, of course, the web browser version of FinViz is a little bit different, okay? So brace yourselves. Now, what I'm looking for is I'm primarily like to see what the Dow Jones, I'm trying to zoom in for you. Won't let me zoom in too much, but I look at the Dow and see how the performance of the Dow is. We see we got a double top. It's kind of coming down, but the futures actually look pretty good right now. Also, I like to look at the S&P. Of course, S&P has historically been going up. The NASDAQ, I also like to look at that. We saw we had a big fall in the NASDAQ on last Friday. We all made a lot of money on puts. And then I like to look at the VIX, the volatility index as well, right? This helps me kind of gauge how volatile the market is going to be. Now, while this is all great, we got to have more than one source. So another thing I want to tell you guys is to download CNBC, right? Now, I have the pro version of CNBC. Now, you don't have to have the pro version to utilize this thing, right? Here, of course, what I'm looking for, I want to see what's happening in the global markets, right? So Asian Pacific, we can see right now, it's kind of up a little bit. Shanghai is a little down. And then here we are with our actual futures, which actually tells me we're a little flat, right? So we have FinViz as one layer of confirmation. And then here we are with the US markets as another layer of confirmation. All right, so now let's just go back to the news, take a look at the news and see another level of different things that we can watch, right? Now, of course, these topics will help you kind of find different things you can play. For example, here, I'm looking at BRKA, right? That's Warren Buffett's company, Berkshire Hathaway. So there's another way we could play this ticker, which is BRKB, right? So this is one thing that I would personally go look at and say, okay, well, maybe this is a great ticker to play. So understanding the news and the futures are two things that are going to help you when you want to do a pre-market analysis. Okay, let's move on to the next one. All right, so one other resource is Trading Ticks, right? I like to take a look at Trading Ticks, and you guys have seen me pull this up so many times online, but I want you to see it from an app perspective, right? So I'll go and look at the stocks. Of course, it's not going to pull up right now. It's not going to pull up right now because at the moment, market is closed and my Wi-Fi is probably terrible outside. So at the time of this recording, but Trading Ticks is a good resource for you to use. Let's see if I can close it and open it back up for you guys. So I'm going to open that back up and I'm looking at Trading Ticks. Let's click on the options market, see if we can get anything to pull up here. Now, I've been doing a lot of discussion about the market net flow. I also like to see what tickers are moving. This will kind of get me going to decide what I want to look at for that day. Looking at the highest volume calls and puts, like you got TLT, which is related to bonds. You got CrowdStrike, Pfizer, mRNA, BP, Mara, Marathon, ET, and CELH, just to name a few, right to the highest call volume change, highest premium change. And these are all things to make me do what? Go look at the chart, okay? Also, here are our cheaplies. You often hear me say them as lotto plays. So this kind of helps me gauge like what other people are buying, something I could do, right? Now let's go back to the home page here on Trading Ticks and see if we can get those stocks back up, right? It's still not coming up. All right, so that's fine. All right, but nevertheless, looking at the overall market perspective will help you, right? I'm going to close that back up because I want to show you one more cool thing about Trading Ticks. So let's look at the dark pool levels. Let's see if we can at least get that up. Now, what the dark pool is are people that are able to buy stock tickers when you and I can't for different prices, different volume, different open interest. I mean, these are the people that are calling the shots, right? So as we're looking at this, I'm gonna turn my Wi-Fi back on while I'm still recording this at the time of this lesson for you guys, just because I want you to know multiple ways to skin the cat, to get information, to fish for plays, right? Now, since this is taking a little bit longer than expected, I want to give you guys another quick go-to, Yahoo Finance, okay? Now, you guys may have seen me pull this up online, but I want to show you how to do it on your phone. So we're going to click markets here, okay? And then I want to look at the trending tickers, right? The most trending tickers. So I click view more here, and you can see we got NVIDIA trending down, IRM, Berkshire trending down, Pony trending up, right? These are all things that I look at pre-market to make a decision on what I want to play, either that same day or the next day, right? This is one golden ticket, if you will, to help you plan your day. All right. Let's just go back to one more thing here on Yahoo Finance, right? We can also see the most active tickers, right? NVIDIA, New Holdings, Palantir, NEO, Tesla. These are all things that I like to look at to decide what moves I want to make the next day. Now, this isn't all inclusive, okay? Because again, we always have the news, geopolitical events, so many other things to consider, right? I just want to give you guys a resource to utilize while on the go that you could use to decide how you want to trade. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the mobile version of pre-market analysis. Now, let's take it to the. All right, so we're back to the computer. Let's talk about step one. All right. Why exploring the futures pre-market is so important, right? This allows us to see the early signals of what to expect in the overall market. For example, just today, as we looked at the market on the live, on my YouTube live today, we saw that the futures were pointing to a bullish open. We had a slight run pre-market, which honestly was a fake out, but it still allows us to be prepared for the unexpected. So we get that early signal because futures trading is happening before the market officially opens, right? We're also able to see the market mood. Guess what? Humans have emotions, so markets have emotions, even though our markets are ran by powerful computers. So we like to look at the volatility index, aka the VIX. We heard a few minutes ago when we first got started, when King had mentioned, be careful, the VIX is at 1838. So the VIX gives us the level of nervousness for the entire market. So we have to pay attention to the VIX often, as often as possible. All right. Now, the futures, right? The futures, when we talk about the indices, okay? I like to look at the Dow Jones, the S&P index, and the NASDAQ, as well as the Russell 2000. I accidentally left that one off on the screen, right? Because this shows me the trends in the major market sectors. Now, here's a perspective that you might want to take about these. The Dow Jones Industrial Index is pretty much everything on the market. Okay, the S&P is a collective of the top 500 companies on the market. The NASDAQ are our technology related companies, our NVIDIAs, our Microsofts, our Apples, and anything really tech related, and Netflix. It's all wrapped up into that one index. Then the Russell 2000, it holds our smaller cap tickers, those that may not have $1 billion market cap or a multi-million dollar market cap. But those smaller companies do still have momentum. For example, MicroStrategy for the longest was part of the Russell 2000. Super Microcomputer, SMCI, is part of the Russell 2000. So those type of tickers help influence the Russell 2000. Okay. Now, this gives me an opportunity to have better planning when the bell does ring, right? Now, when I look at the futures, I can understand what type of strategy that I want to make once I hear that bell happen. Okay. And you'll be able to do the same thing. Now, step two, this allows us to also consider what happened in the international markets. Like I like to look at what's happening in Europe and Asia and even Australia because those type of things can influence the United States market, right? It gives us that global connection. It also allows us to see if there's going to be a sentiment shift from, say, for example, this bullish momentum that we may have seen pre-market to now bear market, right? Maybe there's some type of geopolitical event, Russia and Ukraine, for example. Like when that war happened, we saw the market just drop a little bit. Then we saw some things pop in certain areas, Palantir to be exact, right? Then we could see the sentiment shifts, right? With economic news and events, such as things happening overseas, in Israel, the Middle East, supply chain constraints, tariffs from China to United States, those type of things shift the mood or the volatility that we just discussed in the market. Hence, it allows us as traders to now make our decisions for risk management, right? This allows us to be aware of these trends and manage our portfolios accordingly, right? So we can plan for these market swings that we're going to see. Now, there are a couple places you can do this, right? Number one, finviz.com. Talk about it all the time. You have to save this one as a favorite. CNBC.com. I use it all the time. You see me go to it on my lives. I do it during the market. I keep the CNBC on behind me. You see a chair right now, but there's really a TV right there. Yahoo Finance, that's where I go to see the trending tickers of the day. And we'll go through all of this together once we finish the presentation. But I want you to know that these sites will help you plan how you want to execute. Okay. Now, investing.com is also pretty good, and so is marketwatch.com. Just make note of these sites. Okay. Now, stock market news or news regarding the market is crucial for us in the pre-market as well. All right. So this allows us again to make those informed decisions, to understand how the market news will help you to know what's going on, right? Listening to CNBC all day while you trade is going to print money for you. Okay. Just as much as watching the chart and understanding the chart. Because again, you never have to get ready if you stay ready. All right. This also allows us to anticipate trends. The pre-market news often allows us to see the updates that have taken place from overnight trading with economic events and other things of that nature to prepare us for the day. And here's that RM word that we just got through talking about, but we cannot ever leave it out, and that's risk management. We got to be aware of the potential market movers, and we can adjust our trading strategy to manage these risks and avoid any type of surprise attacks, right? The best thing about chess is being able to strategize where you move those pieces so you can be ready for the opponent's move and take them out and put them in checkmate, right? That's the same way we have to treat our brokerages every single day. Now, we also have to learn an enhanced strategy, and the enhanced strategy actually is so simple. Staying updated with the market news. That is our enhancement. Listening more than we speak, right? Not being so quick to react, but easier to receive. This allows us to build confidence to develop a more effective trading plan versus just jumping the gun, which honestly, why I told you guys today, I'm trying my best not to jump in anything because I got to focus on this. If I can't focus on something, or if I don't have time, then I don't need to trade it. If I can't watch it, I can't play it. Okay, unless I got a lot of time. Like, for example, those Nike calls, they're up about 6% right now. I still got to watch the chart. I mean, I might need to take my profits, okay, because Nike could be rejecting with the entire market. Okay. Or Nvidia could be falling off a cliff like it is right now. So we got to be prepared for that, right? Now, key takeaways for beginner traders, right? Step 3, continue. Always stay updated. Regularly check the news and your news sources and get summaries before you start a trade. If you're on TradingView, hit that lightning bolt to see any news relevant to that ticker. Okay. Also, understand the impact of whatever news that you're seeing on that particular ticker. Okay. So, you don't want to jump the gun at any point. Okay. Practice your caution. Don't just do anything just because of the news, because some things are literally buy the rumor, sell the news. So you need to use the insights to make cautious, well-informed decisions for yourself, especially during the pre-market phase before you jump into something. And lastly, over time, you're going to build confidence, integrating the market news into your strategy, which is going to help you navigate the markets more confidentially. I must hope I'm saying it confidentially, right? Because you want to be confident in everything that you trade. It doesn't matter if it's 10%, 20%, 100%, 1,000%, whatever it is, you want to be ready for it, right? And the last point, knowledge is power, especially when trading in a fast-moving pre-market condition, because just as that market looked bullish pre-market, it could easily flip bearish and psych you out. Now, a couple things I like to use for stock market news is TradyTix.com, CNBC.com, YahooFinance.com, FinViz.com, and MarketWatch.com. Okay, moving right along. Step 4. Now, I want to pause for a minute before I go into trending stock matters because I want to tell you just a heads up. If you have some Solana, we just fell below 154.75 today, February 24th. So we fell through support. So just think about that if you're in it. Just want to throw that out there. All right. So getting back to our presentation here, knowing the trending stocks is so important. We've got to be able to spot these opportunities on our trending stock market movers. All right. Understanding the market sentiment is going to be equally as important. All right. Keeping track of the trend will help us gauge the overall market mood and investor balance, providing insight to where the market is heading. Okay. So this again goes back to step 3. It's crazy how all of these things tend to tie into one another. We have to be able to make informed decision making approaches. We have to recognize these trends and allow us to focus on the securities with higher activity, which may also lead to more predictable and profitable trading patterns, right? But also, sometimes when there's a lot of traffic, we might want to see the trend and wait for the reversal and catch it going the other way. Now, we have to optimize our trading strategy by being aware of what's trending, and it will help us time our trades, even though we can't always time the markets. Okay. So this will allow us to be able to enter a trade, avoid entering a trade early, and still be able to make bank. Okay. All right. Moving to the next one. These are the sites that I like to use again for Yahoo Finance and how to get there. All right. How to get to trending tickers. I'm sorry, and how to get there. So Yahoo Finance, again, I like to click the markets tab, and then go to trending tickers. Right. I usually do that pre-market so I can kind of see what's running and then move accordingly. Okay. Also, tradyticks.com. Click on the stock market tab. I look at the biggest gainers and losers. There's also a news tab in there. Also, barchart.com. I like to look at the market pulse tab and do the stock market overview. It's going to give me a complete overview of the market. Now, on CNBC, this is one you probably have never seen me pull up. I go to the investing tab and the trader talk page. It's going to be mostly news, but it's going to give me those tickers with the headlines that I need to see in order to make my money for the day. Okay. Now, step 5, there are useful screeners that you can use versus using just social media. It doesn't matter if it's me or anybody else, right? Always go back and see for yourself. Even the word teaches us study to show yourself approved, right? So go look at the tickers for yourself before you just jump in something. Always, okay? Never just do it because anybody said it. These screeners that we have and that you all have access to will provide data-driven insights and objective metrics that an influencer may see as may have missed by the time they talk about it. There could be a complete shift of the trend. So this is a reliable tool to help you identify market opportunities. Right now, unlike social media, which is often influenced by hype, bias, or even unverified opinions, screeners filter stocks based on concrete criteria like trading volume, price, or technical indicators. This approach allows you to quickly pinpoint stocks that meet specific conditions without getting lost in the noise, right? Now, these things found on social platforms should be like a trigger for you, or I'll put it to you like this. It should be like a bullet that you put in the magazine and cock it back before you squeeze the trigger, right? Because you need to go to the chart and do more research, check the news, see the fundamentals of whatever ticker it is. Now, here are the screeners that I personally like to use. So on TradingView, if you click the products tab where it says super charts, where it says screeners, you click screeners and then stocks. So that for the stock market, you could also see specific ETFs like SPY, QQQ, and those type of things. And those of you that trade crypto or bonds, there are also screeners for that as well. Also, my very favorite, the heat maps. You can see that also from that same tab. And now on FinViz, which also is a little bit more complex screener, right? This one, it's okay. Not my favorite, but I remember before I had resources like TradingView or really understood TradingView, I would utilize this. I would usually sort by either the index or the sector, or even the industry, because you can do all these different drop downs just to find what's trending. And I would typically either sort by the volume or the change. Sometimes I would even look at the price just so I can just find something if I'm looking for an opportunity to fish, if you will. Okay. All right. Now, moving on to step 6. There's power in the opening bell and options trading. Now, you'll see even today that I told you guys I'm going to give you about 15 minutes so you can practice risk management on anything that you're in, right? Hopefully, most of you cooked or position yourselves to make a lot of money, whether it be on Nike, Tesla puts, Nvidia puts, whatever it is. I hope that you were able to cook. But at the opening bell, you get instant market sentiment. You get to see if those futures that you just got through looking at are really going to give you the game. Now, I told you guys this morning in the live, I said the Stock Traders Almanac is calling for a bear stay. Sometimes I like to do the opposite of what I see, but if the trend is the trend, I'm going to make that my friend, right? So today we saw that the opening bell revealed a real-time reaction opposite of what the futures gave us. We get that trend confirmation once that bell rings. All reality starts to kick in. It validates or invalidates the pre-market signals that we saw. It gives us a clear indication of what momentum shifts may actually be happening. Also, for those that with a little bit more intermediate and advanced level, you get opportunities to snipe really quick. Make your 10, 20, 100% in a small amount of time if that trend stays the same. All right. Now, understand that in doing this in the first few minutes of the market, that there are a lot of volatile movements at the opening bell. So, as a mentee, as a new person to trading, I would tell you don't trade. Not financial advice, but don't trade. Okay. Just always consider risk management. Consider risk management at the opening bell. All right. Now, if you want to keep it simple, this last step is one of the most important things. Give yourself 10 to 15 minutes as a new trader. Let's see if there's going to be a stabilization period, which will allow you to wait for the initial volatility to subside, to give you a clear picture of the actual day's trend, right? We want to still continue to be able to make these informed decisions that we've talked about this in this entire pre-market analysis aspect, right? This is a brief delay, which helps all of us confirm these pre-market signals and avoid chasing false breakouts. Now, for beginners and swing traders, patience during this window can lead to better timing for entries and exits and reducing the risk of premature trades. Now, I'm going to take some questions, but I want to thank you first for your attention to this presentation. So real quick, let me turn back on the ability to unmute yourselves. I know most of y'all probably are cooking on these puts or maybe looking at your exits on things. So I do want to entertain some questions, but while I'm doing that, I want to touch on some of these websites that I covered with you guys this morning. All right, and before I do that, I want to point something out to you in the mentorship. Let's see. Let's get this on the screen, Mark. Let's see this one here. And I want to thank, I think it was Deb who did it. Let's see. Let's stop this. All right, cool. I want to thank Deb for posting the link that Marquise has shared to this, the Strat Teach V2. Thank you, Marquise, for just being an awesome man, and thank you for your service to the government too, bro. I see you on here, but this is the indicator, and what I've done is I've in the indicator library, which hopefully everybody should be able to see. I posted that same indicator here, and there are also some other ones that we've covered that you may want to utilize here as well in the Three Wise Kings mentorship. So this is also for you. So take full advantage of that. All right, now going back to the nitty gritty here about pre-market analysis. I want to just show you guys again a few things. Let's go to Trady Ticks. I want to spend a little time here about the news and things that you could use real quick. So let's just go to Explore Trady Ticks so you can see this. Now we know where the pre-market gainers is, which is where we click the stocks and we see all of that good stuff, right? It's loading slow. Also, if you have a question, feel free to unmute. Talk to me. I want to make sure that I answer anything that you guys have, okay? So we know where the biggest gainers and losers are. Now, what I wanted to point out is down here under the market dashboard, the news section, all right? Has one for stocks and crypto. So you can click here on stocks, and it's going to give you the relevant some tickers with some important news that you could possibly trade and make some bank on. All right. So again, Trady Ticks is a source. We all are familiar with that, and I'll even trade not Trading Ticks. TradingView is a source, but so is Trading Ticks. Last night when I was recording that screen record for you, I also wanted to show you the dark pool. Again, the dark pool allows you to see people that are able to buy stuff when you and I can't. All right, they got the power, they got the keys to the house. All right, and we just get to come in when they let us at opening bell. All right, so looking at the dark pools, we can see down here below what folks are buying. Wait, is that it? Wrong one. We got to go up here to the top where it says market dashboard. Here we go. Want to click that dark pool data. All right, and we see right here, CEG, United Airlines, Affirm, SPY. I like to look at these dark pool trades. Also, I like to look at the block trades, the bigger buys, right? These are all people that are able to do stuff that you and I can't. All right, this will lead me to a place to where I need to go start digging. Okay, I'm looking at all of this stuff in the pre-market. I'm looking at all of this as I prepare to help people identify potential things that they too can invest in when I go live on YouTube. Because again, I want to make sure that I share what I can when I do this. But this is one of the sources I used to do that. All right. Also, going a little bit deeper into more news, let's go to investing.com. Now, this isn't one that I use a whole lot, but it's still pretty good, right? Under the market tabs, I can look at stocks. Guess what? There's another screener. But here's something really dope, the trending stocks. Let's open that, right? We got Nvidia, Tesla, Alibaba. But you know how I roll, right? I want to see it by the percentage. Let's see if I can sort this. Let's make it compact. Does it let me sort it by percentage? Because I don't use this one a lot. So it doesn't work like Yahoo Finance. But this is also another place you can see what's trending. Okay. You can sort by performance. There we go. Performance. And then there we are. We have what we need to see here. Okay. Now let's go to CNBC.com. And I'm going to touch Yahoo Finance for you guys as well. So you can see how I get to these particular tabs to kind of prepare myself. Told you, I go to the investing tab. All right. It's going to give me specific news about some of these tickers that I like. Now, I have a pro version of CNBC, so I'm able to read a little bit deeper in some of these other articles. NVIDIA, Nike, Block, Twilio, Alibaba, Apple, for example. They calling these out. I don't even have to go in and read the articles. I'm going to go look at the headline or see the headline as a say, hey, look at me. Go look at the chart right now, Mark. And then I go look at the chart, see if it's something that I want, if that's the smoke that I want, right? So that's one thing that I do. All right, now the last one is Yahoo Finance. Actually, it's not the last one. I'm going to show you bar chart too. So here on Yahoo Finance, and I've shown you guys this before, and I'll show it as many times as I have to. Click the market tabs and the trending tickers. You also can see gainers and losers here for free. All right. So click trending tickers and I look at the change. I always sort by the change on this one. Yahoo Finance is actually pretty dope for this. I don't like using it for charts, but I do like using it to find tickers, right? So here we are. We got ATCH moving. It's up 282%. Jesus, that thing is cooking. S-Tech, a lot of small cap, but there it is. Berkshire Hathaway. I was meaning to get in a play this morning. I want 505.10 or 505.06 is what I said this morning on Berkshire Hathaway. And I'm probably going to grab a call, even though we're teaching right now, for a swing trade. Because again, I've already mapped it out. I've already done my research and I know where it's going. So I'm going to buy out of the money $500 call for June. At the money call for $500 for June 20th, right? Based on my research this morning. All right. My pre-market analysis, right? It's going to cost a little bit of money because it is at the money and it's already started moving. Okay. So again, we've got to use these sources to find out how we want to trade. Go down here. We also see Starbucks is moving, a few other things, right? Now, last but not least, barchart.com. Now, I think that my brother King really likes barchart.com. And I've seen him help a lot of people using this site because it is a really great resource to use, ladies and gentlemen. Whether you have a premium bar chart or a just a standard free trial, right? One thing I like to use here, pre-market, is the market pulse, right? Here's the stock market overview. All right, it's going to give you the trending tickers, the leaders, for the day at the moment. Also, relevant news. Okay. Also, go a little bit deeper into this when the market is open. Like you can see the market momentum here, and see, if it's more sales, if it's more buys. But the news is pretty good. And if you have a paid version, I do believe you can get more data, more real time. But I don't. I just have a free version. Even if I log in, my views are going to be limited because I invest in other resources to use, right? But this is a great one. Even when you look at the options on here, because if you're looking at this pre-market, this is usually going to be the data from the day before, or in our case, last Friday, right? Options market overview. There were a lot of puts on PDD, calls on Taiwan Semi, Palantir, GDX, Corz, Nike, and so much more, right? But also, you're getting the news. So being able to see this helps you be prepared for what it is that you want to trade. So right now, I'm going to stop share. I want to take any questions about anything related to this topic.
Woo, it was cooking, brother.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, no, he definitely cooking. Wilhelm has a question.
Okay, Will, go ahead, brother.
Hey, what's up, guys?
What's up, bro?
So quick question. With bar chart or any of these like pre-market analysis, for instance, the unusual options activity, that's always a day behind, right?
Pre-market, yes. It's always going to be
Okay,
from last week, because again, you can't trade options before the bell rings.
right.
So I'm only looking at it as okay. I might want to look at this ticker today. Now I don't know, King. Do you use the market pulse unusual flow unusual options activity pre-market? I don't usually use it pre-market. I only use it during the bell, but want to get some insight from you if you could, bro.
No, I've glanced at it. But no, I don't use trading ticks as much as I used to. Are we talking about trading ticks or bar chart?
Bar chart.
Bar chart.
Oh, bar chart. Yeah, I always glance at it. But again, when I'm looking at pre-market, everything is kind of like 50-50 to me because I know that just from my mind, the pre-market stuff will tell you, they give you kind of an inkling of where the market is going, but I'm pretty skeptical in this game because I've seen a lot of trickery. So I understand that sometimes when we see things in pre-market, the big boys know that we use that as an inkling to where to go for the day. So I'll look at it at pre-market and I'll basically when I'm in pre-market, I'm developing a strategy if things go either way. So yeah, I'll glance at them, but how often do I use that to make a decision? I would I wouldn't lean on that one.
Okay.
And I'm gonna say, for me personally, when I'm looking at the pre-market, when I'm doing my pre-market analysis, I do start looking at the pre-market, looking at the market as a whole, right? And you could do that on pretty much all of the sites that Mark mentioned. But once I look at the sentiment of the market as a whole, now I start drilling down to specific tickers, right? So you guys should know at this point that coin is one of my favorite tickers that I like to play. And I was dropping some play-by-play information in the Discord as Mark was presenting. Excuse me, because I want you guys to understand what I saw, right? Based on the information that I saw, the reason why Coinbase is now going down yet again is because what just happened with Robinhood, the SEC, I believe they dropped whatever lawsuit they had with Robinhood in regards to crypto. So what does that mean? A lot of people who are already familiar with crypto are now, I'm sorry, who are already familiar with Robinhood are now going to start doing more crypto trading on Robinhood versus Coinbase. Why? Because that's just what they're familiar with. So it dropped all the way down to just over $11, maybe 3.5%. Right. So I took gains on that momentum twice. So now what time is it? It's 10:20, almost 10:30 Eastern Standard Time. So because all that momentum took place within the first almost hour of the market being open, plus Bitcoin is still not moving as much as we want it to. Now I do understand, okay, Coinbase is now, I mean, it has always been in competition with Robinhood secretly, but I think now we're going to start to see that more and more out in the open, right? People are always going to go where they feel comfortable, right? Because people feel comfortable on Robinhood, that is going to take a lot of the traffic from Coinbase. So because of that, Coinbase may continue a downtrend. Now, what I do know, and I said this the other day, what goes down at some point must go up. So now I am in a call waiting for all of my alerts to hit, and then I'm going to take gains yet again, right? So far, the market's only been open almost an hour, and I've already taken 56.5% out of the market, out of coin, right? So when you are doing your I don't mean to keep this elongated, but when you're looking at the pre-market analysis, yes, that is important to see the market as a whole, right? Because now you're looking at the big picture, right? But you're not trading the entire market, right? You want to then start to zoom in on whatever tickers that you're familiar with and understand what's happening with those specifically. All right. So don't get lost in looking at, when you're doing your pre-market analysis, looking at everything. You're just looking at it for an overall feel. Then zoom in on what you like to trade specifically. All right. Sorry, I know that was pretty long, but I really wanted you guys to understand why I did what I did, because when you go into the Discord, you're going to see all the stuff that I posted. And again, I just did it for the sake of you guys really understanding how I look at things and why I set alerts, because looking at this information, setting your alerts is extremely important. All right.
Mm-hmm. Having those alerts are going to allow you to make those trades without you having to put your eyes on it all the time.
That part.
Or rely on your memory.
Mm-hmm.
That part too.
The alert should tell you what to do.
Right. But everybody should have been cooking today. I'm hoping if you've been trading for a minute, you were able to see those trends and cook. But are there any questions? If not, we could just get to making some money, and I'm cool with that. But I want to give you guys every opportunity to ask anything, seek information. But your pre-market is your key, y'all. It is key. But it doesn't mean that it's gonna stay that way. But it's a way to get prepared for your day. All right. Feel free to unmute yourself. Questions, comments.
You saw the VIX touched 2025. It was at about $18, I think, when I talked about it. It shot up to 2025.
All right, so let me get my confusing screen up for you guys. So maybe people ask me questions about this. So just so you can know how I trade, I'm a little bit different. In fact, y'all already know that. But at any rate, I have three screens up. And over on the left, I'm looking at the S&P index symbol SPX. On my bottom right, I'm looking at SPY. On the upper right, I'm looking at the VIX, the volatility index. Notice on all of my screens, except for the VIX, I'm looking at the 10-minute time frame on things that I actually can trade. And I'm looking at the 2-minute time frame for the VIX, the volatility index. Now my price point is over here on the right-hand side. And I'm actually on this particular setup, I'm not using an indicator that I teach because it's not mine. It's the Trend Fusion, but I threw in a mixture of things that I have taught. For example, the flawless trading system, looking at the 200, the 800 and the 10-day EMA, which in this case, if I blow it up in just one screen only, these are everything. This is everything I have on my chart. My 10 EMA, 800 EMA, Okay. I have my smart money concepts and then everything that's trend fusion, right? I also have, I think this is the stochastic candles, but I don't have them on because I moved on my object pane, my smart money concepts to the top. Also, when I look at my oscillators, I have the truth, which is something that I teach, but also I have a trend fusion indicator, which is created by my friend Bree. So I mix things up that I like to use that work well for me. Like this is the relative strength index here, Lux Algo RSI, something I teach. And then here we are again with the volume tick Rogers trick indicator that I use to see the market cycle and the actual trend. So when I'm looking at my three-way setup here, I usually keep my pane on the right closed because I'm only looking at price action. I'm looking at what the volatility index is doing, which is running, which is telling me, yo, bro, you might want to go look at SPY puts. All right. So now I'm over here. I got another screen up. I'm looking at SPY puts, maybe grabbing some SPY puts. But before I jump in anything, I want to look at the SPY chart. Okay. Cancel. All right. So first thing I do, I'm looking over at that right-hand side. I know it's probably small for many of you. I see that SPY has some support at 597.87 and started bouncing off of it, but it also dropped to 597.03. So if I personally want to jump in SPY right now, I'm actually going to go 14. Well, yeah, I'm going to go 14 days out because I want to signal something a little inexpensive. All right. And I'm going to look at I'm just gonna buy one. I'm gonna buy a 585 put for March the 10th on SPY. Okay. I'm gonna buy two of them. All right. The market's been open for 1 hour right now. All right.
Yeah, I'd like to see SPY on the 596.46. But first level, 597.12. If we can break that,
Yeah.
596 SPY is gonna continue to fall.
Right. And this is why I keep SPX up. I'm gonna show you why I keep all three of these up at one time. Okay. I think that's
Got
also
it.
pretty important. So I'm gonna start with SPX. All right, using my smart money concepts, I see that support, the breaker support on SPX is at $5,990.74. Okay. We had a low today of about 5,978.02. If we fall below that support, I'm expecting this to touch the demand zone here, right around $5,984 and establish another level of support. All right, but I want to see a break below that on the S&P index. Now, talk about SPY. This on the 10-minute time frame again. We saw that SPY pretty much was bouncing off $597.96. King just gave us some really good levels here, and so if we were looking to maybe enter even the signal that I just dropped on SPY, we want to see SPY at least below 597.66, which also would tell me that SPX has fallen through that level of support that I just pointed out to you guys, $5,990.81. Okay. So going back to our SPY chart, which I'm going back and forth now because usually I have all three of them up at one time. I see that SPY also could catch some support at the discount zone. And even when SPX had that drop the last time, SPY went to 596.63. Okay. So I personally want to see SPY below 596. I'm going to say 596.40, below the week low, and see it trickle on down a little bit lower. I could zoom out, look at a later time frame, maybe the 30-minute or 65-minute, and see where support is here. 596.40 looks to be pretty important. Okay. Also, I can see that it currently has support on the 30-minute time frame looking at the smart money concepts. Okay. But if we fall below that 596.40, oh boy, we could see 592 or lower. Okay. So currently we're just watching the trend. And again, I keep those on the 10-minute. All right. Now, VIX, the reason why it's in the upper right hand corner for me. All right. Now VIX, I'm watching on a 2 minute time frame. Also have a different chart set up on the VIX. I'd have the strat, really not by choice. It's just kind of how it is when I have my three chart set up, and I just never went and changed it to anything else because I understand how the strat works too. So if you understand multiple different strategies and something opens up when you split your screen, you're like, okay, I can cook with that too. It doesn't matter. I can cook with this, and that. So that's why it's still set on the strat. But nevertheless, I keep it on a 2 minute time frame because I want to see again the price action of VIX to see if it's going to push SPY down. Now, because people saw the VIX was going up to what 1933 a few minutes ago, was it 1928? Sorry, 1928. Then they're going to be buying SPY puts. Now, market makers are going to come in and flip the script to see if they can push VIX down and change the whole narrative here. All right, but it could be a trap. So I'll look at the 2 minute, and then if I chose to on that smaller screen, I could go to the same time frame that I'm watching everything else, which is the 10 minute, which is showing me that VIX wants to run. That VIX actually did touch $20.27 pre-market. That VIX could possibly not reject until it hits $20.03 today. So I'm zooming in on VIX because I want to see how that moves faster while I trade slow. I just said something. I don't know if anybody caught that.
Bars.
Yep, I just said something. Okay. All right. Any questions? Anything y'all want me to pull up?
Hey, Mark.
Hey Mark, it's Vic. How's it going?
Hey Vic, what's up, brother?
Good, bro. Thanks a lot. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for your time, guys. King and Neil as well.
Sir.
I just want to understand. I'm trying to get to understand levels. So when you mark your levels, are you just looking at support resistance lines, or how do we mark levels when you
Ooh.
map the chart?
Bro, I'm so glad you asked that question. I'm gonna answer your question, then silent. I'm gonna answer you. All right, so
Thank
let me share my screen, fam. And I've been doing this, and I don't know. I today I even said I hope somebody catches this. So, what ticker you want me to look at? Just give me anything.
Nvidia.
Okay, Nvidia. All right, so peep this. I'm gonna go to the 1 day time frame first. Now you're not gonna believe this. This is crazy. All right, you're not gonna believe. I'm gonna turn every indicator off. I don't want none of it. All right. Over here on the right hand side, you see a line, right? You could draw a trend line, a horizontal line, or anything like that. Okay. Now, what I'm gonna do, I actually have it as a favorite, so it's already down here for me. So before I get started for the day, if I want to trade NVIDIA, I'm going to look at where the bottom of NVIDIA is right now. That'll be my support. No indicators, right? That's just what I'm looking at. And I'm literally from this point looking for two things. One, any gaps, which I'm not going to steal that lesson because you're going to learn a great lesson about gaps from King. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that. Um, All right, and then I'm gonna look at the last touch of some additional candles. So right now, looking at Nvidia, for example, this candle, this current candle, the bottom is right around 132.04. All right. So now I'm gonna look at, okay, where's the next candle's bottom? 131.06, the longest one, or the next to the longest one from that one. And then the one following that, it's right around 130.04. So my levels to the downside on NVIDIA are very, very tight.
About to
What?
watch Nvidia. All of them too.
Okay. And what about the upside, Mark? All right, because I still can map out so many levels looking at the prior wicks of some additional candles, right? Now, to the upside, look at SPY falling. Those puts are cooking. To the upside, same scenario. Now I see where this current wick is, but I want to say, okay, where's the last one that's not just crazily absurd, but where was the last wick that looked like it could go to as a target price? Right around 134. Okay. We also see here that at the downtrend of the prior day on that candle, It's right around the same level, right around 134.23. And I'm just mapping out my levels for target prices. Okay. All right. What about higher than that? All right. Where did we reject the last time? Well, the last reject was around 143.38 and we came back down. What happened, Mark? Is there a gap or something above that? Or did we just feel it? Yeah, we actually did feel it. When we ran up from down here at 112 and came on up to where it touched at 143. It closed the gap and rejected back down. So I just mapped out those levels, but intraday, I need to see it go above 134.44 before I can flip bullish when it's already told me, nah, bruh, you got to go back down. All right. That's no indicators whatsoever, just mapping out levels. Now, that doesn't mean you can't find a quick way. One quick way that I like to use, actually, there are two. The predictive ranges by Lux Algo, which you guys have information about that in your mentorship handbook, and also the free indicators. And then, of course, the Fibonacci trend by Chart Prime. I think this is the one. Yes. Fibonacci trend by Chart Prime. I can't talk. And that helps me also map out potential levels, because once I see that 0.618, it's like a key for me. It just like does something, turn my light bulb on. Okay. So those two things really help me map out if I don't have time to go and do all of this on a particular ticker, if I got to do it quick. Okay.
Quick
Silent.
question.
I think Silent was next, and then I'll get you next, Vidal. Silent
Ah,
iPad.
Thank you. I think I may have misheard your SPY put call or option that you had there. I was just looking. Is the SPY 585 put for 310?
Yeah, that's the one I bought. It's actually down 3% right now, so it caused some support. It was green when it hit 597.45, and it's got a slow trickle down right now.
Question on. I was looking at it and it shows open interest at 0. I know we were trying to look at an open interest to be higher. Is there a particular reason why we went with this one?
So I'm gonna day trade it. I didn't consider open interest or volume on this particular play. I only considered the trend that I was
Okay.
seeing in the chart. So I'm planning to get out of it as easily as I got into it. The likelihood of spot getting to 585. Let me see if it'll let me pull up the details. It won't let me do. I'm on Robinhood Legend looking at it. So, um, yeah, I can't even see like the volume and open interest on the Robinhood Legend. So that's one thing I don't like about it. I can customize it. Here we go. Maybe I can. I got it. It is on there. So looks like is the delta 0.37. That's the row. Hold on a second. I got that's the row. The theta is 0.22, gamma 1.5, delta's 0.25. So I'm definitely not swinging this because it has a low delta, and the chances of it actually getting in the money are very slim. But again, this is only and was only intended to be a day trade for me.
Okay. So it's just because of the day trade, you don't really look at the open interest then.
For me in this one, I am not looking at it, but it is prime for me to swing it if I want to because I bought time as well.
Right, right.
I'm only bought it to trade the trend. That's it. And
Perfect.
I went very low on it. I only bought two of them. I actually have not signaled this to anybody but you guys. So this one I saw the trend is still going down. And then if I'm going to look at the actual chart, let's get that back on the screen. Where's my Zoom? Okay, so looking at my 10-minute time frame again on SPY SPX, like I said earlier, it has a lot of support. And I'm watching the price action of VIX at the same time. So I'm just literally just trying to catch the trend on SPY's next drop and SPX's next drop and Like I'm gonna take my bag and go.
Awesome.
I'm not trying to stay
Uh,
around for a long time.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you.
No problem. Vidal?
Yeah, I just had a quick question because you was marking those levels off quick.
For sure.
So like were you basing like your levels off like the most significant candles or like the ones longest like wick and then
Yes.
basing it off that to get each level?
Yes, that's it. Notice I mean I have it on the screen right now. I'm not using one indicator. There's 0 indicators on the screen. I'm only looking at the candles bottoms and the tops. That's it. And I'm marking levels off the bottoms and tops of the wicks. And that also is contingent upon time frames. Now watch this. All those levels I map,
Hmm?
let me go to that 10-minute time frame and look at there.
Okay,
Now
see
I
that
can get certain.
132,
Yeah.
that 132 looks clear on that time frame than the time frame you marked it out to me. Okay.
Yep. Now I can get surgical. I don't have to mark nothing else if I zoom out to zoom in. I'm literally trading on candles, which is what Neil taught y'all on night 2.
Yeah, he's gonna go further into this tomorrow too,
Right.
supporting resistance.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So I mean, like, truthfully, do you need indicators to trade?
No, it just help.
Nope.
And this is why I stress knowing and understanding your candles because they are the data centers of the market.
Yep. I could literally go and do the same thing for SPY right now. Watch. I'll show you. I can show you better than I can tell you. All right.
Appreciate that.
Daily. Okay. This is the daily on SPY.
So you always start on the daily if you're
Yeah.
doing your, okay.
If I'm mapping levels, I start on the daily because then I can get surgical when I zoom in. Okay. All right. So I'm going to look at the bottom of this wick, the last candle, draw my line. That's going to act as support. Okay. All right. Where was the last touch that it was high? It looks like it was right around 598.72. Somewhere in this area. Okay. Where's my line? Come on. 598.72. Okay. The next line that looked like it was high because it looks like there are lower highs and higher lows is what I'm seeing, which is really bearish. And we see a reject or a lot of resistance right here, about $600, right around 599.98. I'll draw a line there. Now below this candle, what was the next low, Mark? All right, so it looks like right here about 595.65 looking at this candle. Okay. All right, and then the next one, because it's a tight range, 594.66. Isn't that right what King said about, what, 10 minutes ago or less? All right. And then below that, I'm looking at the body of this candle. And right here at the body of this one, just saying, okay, well, maybe 592 could be my target price if we fall below that. All right. So I mapped these levels out. Now look, 10-minute. What do I need to see happen, Mark? All right. Glad you asked. Yes, I'm talking to myself. 596.79. I want to see 596.79. Then we hit my price target that I found with the indicators of 596.40. All right. To the downside, we see the meat of this candle, as we learned from Neil, is that this is a bearish candle. The bulls want to pull it up, but they lose in the tug of war. So again, I'm watching this bearish candle. I wanted to revisit the low of this last wick, which happens to be below my trend line. All right. If we fall below that 596.79, my next target price is going to be 595.72. And then below that, 594.66. So I zoom out to zoom in. To conduct surgery, you got to first look at the body. Okay? Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
You got to look at the
Preaching,
body.
Mark. Preaching.
Oh no, I learned this from King. I take all the credit. Look, you look at the body, and then once you look at the body, you examine whatever ailment, the medical condition that you need to operate on. What section? Somebody at my doorbell, y'all. What section of the body you've got to operate on? Okay. Once I've examined that, now I can start cutting. I start cutting around the 10-minute time frame for day trading. Okay. That's where I start cutting. I've examined the body. I can even look a little bit more. Now I'm okay. Now I see, all right, this is the spot. This is where I got to remove this tumor. Okay. This is where I got to cut. And if the cut is so small, then I can zoom in a little bit more. But I understand that accidents could happen if I'm moving too fast. So I need to be very strategic and meticulous in my operations. So I like to stay on that 10-minute or maybe at best the 5. Okay. But my levels are still my levels. No indicators. All right. I didn't even plan on going into this, but because you asked, I'm glad that I was able to cover it because I want to show you that like this is a lot easier than we make it. We actually overcomplicate trading.
That was
Hey,
another.
Mark.
What'd you say, King?
That was another bar. We overcomplicated for sure.
Yeah.
Try to break it down.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks, Mark. Appreciate that. That was really good. Are we going to be doing more of this tomorrow with Neil, just to understand how we map it?
Yes, Neil's gonna go surgical.
Oh,
Yes.
epic. Great. Another thing, Mark, before you went on to mapping the chart, you said something about VIX and SPY. You said you look in the future of VIX to understand where it's going, so you trade SPY slowly.
Yeah, man. I trade SPY slow and VIX fast.
So basically, if VIX is going up in the 20-minute or 30-minute chart, you know SPY is going to go down the next few minutes.
That's right.
Usually.
Okay.
Most of the time. But VIX shows us the nervousness of the market. So like right now on your 2-minute time frame, you go look at VIX. VIX is actually coming down. Look at it. It's gonna show you. As VIX goes down, what does SPY do? Go up. Why? That's why I keep a heat map up too. Apple's kind of pushing just a little bit, not a whole lot. Google's trying to push. What else we got?
Nvidia is doing it. If
Nvidia's still
Apple,
Nvidia's
if
still
Apple
down
is low.
17% on the hour, but you
Yeah.
said it's pushing up right now because it caused some support. So
No, no,
let's
no. Nvidia is coming down.
coming down.
It's Apple we need to flip. If Apple flips with Nvidia, it's over.
Mm-hmm.
That's what
Let's
I'm
see.
putting on. Apple did reject at 248.
Look at that. Look at Nvidia and look at those levels that we just did together.
And I just told y'all we was gonna see all of them hit while we were on here.
We just did this.
No.
Ain't no indicators. No, there's nothing else here.
So guys, check this out. You guys want a quick cheat code? I'm gonna give you guys a real quick cheat code, right? Especially if you trade SPY. Now, I want everybody at some point today, because in order to be successful with this cheat code, you are going to have to do this, right? I want everybody to take advantage of the watch list on TradingView. Okay? And if you don't use TradingView to look at your charts, I believe you can do the same setup on Yahoo. I'm sure you could probably do it for those who trade Robinhood Legend. You can create a watch list on Robinhood as well. But I think the most effective visually is going to be TradingView. So what I want you to do is I want you to first put up SPY on your watch list, right? And then I want you to follow it by the Mag 7, which is going to be Apple, Amazon, Google, Meta, Microsoft, NVIDIA, and Tesla, right? If you put SPY at the top and you put the Mag 7 at the bottom, you can automatically see, and also the VIX is going to be crucial in this as well, right? Because as Mark mentioned, when the VIX is going down, SPY is going up. When VIX is going up, SPY is going down, right? But even if you didn't use the VIX, if you're just looking at SPY by itself, if you look at the MAG 7 as a whole and this one specific group, and Mark, I'm not sure if I have the authorization to share my screen, but
Yes, you do.
all right, perfect. So I'm going to show you I'm going to show you guys exactly what I'm talking about once I finish speaking on it. If you look at this information as a whole, you can really gauge how the S&P 500 is going to perform for that specific day, or maybe even a specific time frame, right? Because as we all know, all of these tickers are volatile, so they can change at any moment. But nonetheless, and I'm going to show my screen right now, it can at least give you a general idea, right? This is it right here. This is the MAG 7, right? And as you can see, out of the MAG 7, there are only two that are performing in the green right now, which is Apple and Google, right? Based on what I'm looking at, Google is going to be the next to fall into the red, right? And then if Apple continues to fall into the red, we already know what's going to happen with the rest of the market, right? So, again, please take the time to set this up because it will be a nice little cheat code or market gauge as far, especially for SPY, if you decide to make SPY your ticker. Okay, now look at what's happening with Apple. It's starting to come down, right? Look at what's happening with SPY. Right? If once all of this is in the red, it's golden. Right? Now let's look at what's happening with the VIX. VIX is going up. Right? SPY is coming down. Again, as Mark said, this is a lot more easier than we make it out to be. We just have to really start connecting the dots. There's no rules outside of the legal ones, of course, but there's no rules. You can come into this
and the mindset rules.
right. Oh, absolutely. That's that's key right there in itself.
Yeah,
you definitely have to have the mindset to play this game.
There was a question in the chat. King, you want to do those? Answer.
Yeah, I can. Let me see. I didn't see anything new. Oh, wait.
Yeah.
Mark
Real
and
quick, can I say something about what Neil just said about the list? I also do that, but I put I tag them, I color code them, so it's easier now. It's
Tag on
at the top. You can color code them.
yeah.
Oh, okay. Hey, listen, whatever works for you. As long as
I see the names. Who was that speaking?
That was Deb.
Oh, okay.
That's my girl out in Cali, man, with the cane Corso.
Hey.
I thought that was there, but I don't want to guess.
As long as you're able to see the picture that you're looking to paint, listen, be Picasso, be whoever you choose to be. As long as you can see your message and that message speaks back to you open and clearly.
Yeah, but like she said, you can color code each ticker to group it, and that's also good. SPY is approaching that level we talked about earlier. If you look at Neil's, go to where I can see the VIX, Neil. Scroll up to where you can see the VIX is visible. See the VIX is moving up, right? So without looking at a chart, you kind of can get an idea on the side of your chart what may be happening.
Yeah. You mind if I share, take over share so I can show those levels again, Neil?
Yeah, please.
All right, let's do that. Let me replace current share, and we're gonna go right back to what we just mapped. There's SPY.
Bingo.
Our key level was that 596.79, and then we're gonna bleed.
Yep.
We touched it. Now we gotta break it. I'm waiting on this 5-minute candle to close.
596.46 is the bottom.
Mm-hmm. We fall below that, we go into the dirt.
Yeah.
Go ahead, King.
Mark the bottom of that wick for me. Just put an alert there. Right. Come down. No, a couple candles over the lowest part. That's why I'm getting the 596.50, 596.46 from. And that will be the lowest point today. So, of course, if we break through there, as you guys will learn tomorrow, once things break through support, they're gonna look for another level. So I'm literally I'm in NVIDIA puts and SPY puts as we speak, and I'm watching this play out under 596.50 or 46. I probably will begin to try to take profits on some of these, but I'm hoping for 595 and then a continuation of the downtrend. Got to be careful. We're catching some support here, but it makes sense that we're catching some support here. Why, guys? Because that's a level. If you look at that candle, we bounced right off of that level. But again, I don't want to overwhelm some of you all, and Neil is going to talk about that tomorrow more in depth, but just a quick walkthrough.
Hey, just to go back to Deb real quick, I definitely don't want to overlook what you said about color coding.
Oh, that's amazing.
You got to show me that one. I didn't know you could color
Bruh,
code.
so that's easy. You see this little flag?
Yeah, I got like tabs.
Yeah. You just
Yeah.
click on the flag and you could change the colors.
Yeah.
It's simple.
Yeah.
Yeah, I use that
Easier
for
on the
my swing
eye to
trades.
me. You can see a lot better, like, if you group them.
I am a color coding guy, so thank you for that.
Oh, you're welcome.
My joint looking real pretty.
I wish I could create a new watch list because like my watch list I got 421 tickers on my watch list, fam.
Oh, so wait, you just color code the flag? Is that what it is?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, I thought you color code the actual like the ticker itself.
No.
Okay.
It's the flag. Like I have all the Max 7 in green, and SPY. Like I relate them. You can do it however you want it.
Okay, I got you. I'm gonna go ahead and make all mine green too. I like that though.
Lit.
Hey, y'all. Good morning, everybody. While we're on tips, I wanted to let y'all know as well for the levels that Mark was showing us earlier. I'm a key command guy, so you can get a key command to get that horizontal line to pop up real quick. It's hold the Alt key and then just tap the letter H for horizontal. And I've been, that just saves me a couple clicks every morning when I'm hopping and doing levels. You can do the same thing for vertical lines with Alt V, just like V for vertical, H for horizontal, but I'm using horizontal lines every day, so it's really quick if you use that.
Yeah.
And are you using a Mac or Windows?
Yeah, that's Windows.
That's on Windows for me. It might be Command H
No.
on Mac.
For the Mac, it's the option sign. The option H, option J, option V, option C. But it's clutch. that's the truth.
Yeah.
It's extremely clutch. And again, you don't have to have indicators. Y'all see that support we bounced off of at 596.79 on Spotto? Now, if it breaks that 598.52, puts might have a little bit of a problem, but our high was where? 599.43. I could even do what my brother said. Command H. Boom. There we go. And by the way, if you double click on the line, you can say, I can type here too. You can make the line in this middle, the bottom, place it on the right, center, left. So you can make notes for yourself as well on each of these lines. Okay, all you got to do is double click it. Okay.
And those lines don't disappear until you delete them, right?
Correct. And they even show up in your object pane as horizontal line. And you can delete them from here, or you can right click them and hit remove, or you can just click it and hit delete. Okay.
Pushing that text over to the right is crucial too, because it doesn't conflict with the bars that you're looking at on the chart.
Correct.
Can you do that with the alerts? Can you shift the?
So with the alerts, I know you can add alerts on the line.
Yeah, but I'm talking about shifting it to the right as you did with the horizontal line.
You mean like I'm confused. What you mean,
But
bro?
you see how you were able to physically move the text on the horizontal line? When you said
Oh yeah,
right
yeah.
in the middle of the chart.
No, my alerts they don't even show up until I hover over them. So like, let me just do it. Ugly. All right. So if I click on it, let's see. Now that's when I can see the note that I made. But my alerts don't show up in the middle of the screen. I don't know. Maybe that's something with your settings, bro. I have no idea.
And that's your alert, right?
Yeah. So it doesn't show me like the alert on the actual chart for me.
Yeah, I gotta figure out how to.
Maybe yeah, go to more settings, click alerts, and you probably have alert lines turned on, which I don't use those. Just uncheck that.
Oh, okay. Okay.
How did I get there? I'll show you again. Right click, more settings, alerts, alert lines, uncheck them. I don't I don't like those lines. I don't need too much more on my chart.
How do you have a right click on a Mac?
Oh,
Try to set me up, player?
Yep.
do you use two fingers and tap your trackpad? Two finger tap. That's your right click.
Bruh.
Sorry, y'all.
It brings up my other
I'll
minimum.
I'll show you how to do it after this, brother. So we don't spend too much time on.
All right.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah,
I got
man.
you.
'Cause,
Listen,
I've
when you
been
learn
trying to
something
figure that
new,
out for weeks.
Yeah, it's a two finger tap, but you also can fix your settings. I love my Mac mouse, man. Regular mouse works good. Ant said he hates Mac mouses. I did have a question in here I did want to address. Are the PowerPoints from previous sessions going to be posted too, or just in video form? So I can only speak for myself. I put all of mine in PDF, and I also post a video in your view content.
Well, previously we only posted the videos.
Yeah,
So
right? Yeah. Me personally, it's always gonna be in the video, and
yeah,
the reason why is because I do plan on in the future doing something with them. So that's why I do not want to release the physical PDFs.
yeah. Yeah, what I share for y'all is just for y'all only. I'm not taking anything else out. But I'm in agreement with Neil and King on that. Um, but yeah, everything that you guys know is things that really, I thought that I taught, but may have just been overlooked. But yeah, just wanted to answer that. Anything else? Any other questions?
Mark, so to kind of like bring it back with the levels.
Yeah.
So, like, let's say that pre-market, we're looking at FinViz, we're looking at Yahoo Finance. And so you would put the levels both, like, would it be for like a new trader, you would put both, like if you're thinking that, okay, it could be bullish, but it could also be bearish, you would plot all the levels, right? And
Yes.
that's something that would be a good practice for all of us as we're right. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's right. Now you don't have to utilize those levels from FinViz pre-market either though, because I mean as far as put them on your chart, because when that bell opens, now you can kind of move, or you can even look at the chart before like the market opens from where it was,
Right.
map it out from there. If that
Got it.
makes
Got it.
sense. In fact,
That's
that's
why you said 15 minutes, right? Because that's why you said the first 15 minutes
yeah, do it.
will give you a trend.
Start
Yeah.
from the day and work your way in.
Okay. Thank you.
And look, right now as we're looking, oh, I thought I stopped sharing. Dang it. As we're looking at SPY, we're going to that key level of resistance from our levels that we mapped out. I still have yet to put one indicator on here since we drew out those levels. So I'm trying to see what happens here at resistance. Are we going to reject? Or are we going to break it and go back to that intraday high? It looks like it wants to break it. Now, if I want to, turn everything back on and we can see. 5 minute, 10 minute. Okay. Is this a dead cat bounce mark? What are our oscillators telling us? Our truth says it has a buy signal on the 10 minute. Be careful with your puts, Mark. Maybe. Okay. All right. Now I can go look at other things. VIX. What is VIX doing? VIX is testing a key level of support. Okay. Deborah just dropped another dope indicator for you guys, called the SPY DXY VIX monitor.
I think it's I Spy. Yeah. Or
I Spy middle
it,
right.
it'll show on your thing as I Spy, I think.
All right, let's see what it looks like. I clicked on it. Oh, I see it now. Gotcha. All right, hold on. Let me share this screen. That's pretty cool, Deb. So it shows SPY, DXY, VIX, and the US 10-year and the direction.
Yes.
That is dope. Sound like some king would love.
Maybe not.
Huh?
So maybe not.
You always watching SPY and VIX, though.
Yeah, for sure. I have to look into it a little bit.
Okay.
I try not to use too many indicators though, especially when trading SPY, because I don't want to get I can't really afford any false flags, you know.
Okay. So I'll add this one to y'all's indicators in the Discord for you.
So I'm scrolling up, and I apologize to where did it go? iPhone 4. He asked earlier about the play I did on Coin. So I apologize for that. I didn't realize you asked about it.
Yeah, you had walked off. I tried to answer it the best I could.
Oh,
Okay. All right. We are about 5 minutes before the conclusion of our time together. Are there any more questions that we can answer about today?
Hey, Mark, it's Vic again.
Hey, Vic.
Can you share a little more about the Fibonacci trend, please? I remember you mentioning if it's below the 0.618, it's puts, and if it's above 0.618, you're gonna go for calls.
Yeah.
But maybe you can explain, share a little bit more about the different levels, 0.382, 0.236, so I understand what direction, how to read it actually through using Fibonacci, please.
Sure. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna pull something up for you right fast.
Thank you.
Give me just a second.
and while you look for that, Mark, I'm gonna tap into a little bit. So that the indicator that I'm gonna break down for next week, what I thought was really really dope about, and I don't use it often, but I do use it from time to time. But this indicator actually has a Fibonacci in it. Like I was like, what? So this indicator, and I'm gonna tell y'all now, you're gonna have to walk with me on this indicator because looking at the settings, it is crazy. So I am going to be playing with it probably all day on Thursday, just so I can really understand specifically how each setting moves. And I'm going to try and set it up as best as I can for it to fit my chart, and then explain it to you guys based on how I have it set up specifically. But yeah, I don't know where brother found that indicator, but man, that thing is fully loaded.
It's cooking, huh?
Yeah.
All right. So when I'm looking at Fibonacci's, and I gave you guys the blueprint, believe it or not, in your mentorship handbook. It's already there. So I give you the Fibonacci retracement levels. Now it's in percentages. 61.8 is 0.618. They're all percentages. So you just multiply it, I think, times 10, I believe, and it'll get you your actual percent. So it shows you your entry, which is 0.38, 0.5, or 0.618. And those are entries for uptrends for calls. All right. For put options, or even if you're in calls and it goes back to that 0.618, that's your exit point. All right. For puts in a downtrend, if the price retraces upward to any Fibonacci level and starts to decline, it suggests the downtrend. So you would just simply measure out those same levels. If it falls below the 0.618 or the 0.78, or it hits the top of the Fibonacci line, it's going to start pulling back. But if you go and you type Fibonacci, you're going to see several different examples of how the Fibonacci Confluence Toolkit and everything works. Already explained and broken down for you in the book. Because I honestly, I use Fibonacci's just to set targets. I don't trade with Fibonacci's all the time because, again, I don't have to use indicators all the time either. I like them as an extra layer of confirmation, but I don't. It's not required. So go. In other words, please refer back to your mentorship handbook, and I think it's page. Thought these things had page numbers. Page 35.
Great. Thank you, Mark.
I'll put the screenshot of it in the mentorship cohort 3 as well. Does that help you? Or did I make it worse?
Yeah, yes, it does. It sure does. I'm going to go through
Okay.
it. Thank you.
Okay.
I'll let you know if any questions later. Thanks.
All right, man.
And just
Appreciate
to,
it.
I got a question.
since we're on the topic of indicators, I'm sorry, Bobby. Since we're on the topic of indicators, please, everyone, do not get lost in these indicators. All right. Once you start looking, you're making me dizzy, Bobby. I don't know what's going on with your lens. Once you start looking at these indicators, and if for whatever reason it's not painting a picture you can't understand, get rid of it, because you're gonna waste too much time trying to make it fit your picture versus understanding it's just not for you. Okay, so again, when you looking at these indicators, and also get a feel of it as well, because you can feel if something's not right. Right? If it doesn't look like it makes sense on your chart, throw it out. That's it. Because you will literally spend all day and miss a bunch of plays that you could have made because you're literally trying to figure out if this indicator is going to work for you. So I would say spend maybe 10, 15 minutes tops. And if you can't figure it out by that point, then don't even play with it.
Fire fast.
That's it. Now go ahead, Bobby. I apologize for interrupting your wisdom.
Oh, what I was looking at that at the straight V2, and it has some kind of it says TARH and TARL, and it gives price points. I'm looking at Nike right now, so it's like 75, 90, 75.86 and 77.99. I don't know if those are like support and resistance levels or something like that. It looks like more of support levels because it says it's green, it's showing green.
Hold on,
and then I had another question too.
We got confirmation for Apple puts if anybody was looking for those. Just want to throw that out there.
Thank you, brother. What time frame you looking at?
I'm back and forth. 3, 10, and what is this? Now I'm on the 45.
Okay.
But it broke the level I needed. So
you on day trade time frames?
Yes. Sorry.
Cool.
Puts for a day trade on Apple.
Okay. Because I wanted to really learn how to do
I
that.
want to see it on the 25. 25.90. think it's gonna bleed some more. It's kind of weird because Apple has been the opposite of the market. Nvidia and the SPY was coming down, Apple was going up. Now they're pushing back up, Apple is flipping. So it's a lot of trickery going on. But got my eyes on it. About 8%.
Yeah, I got some swings on Apple out to June. Calls.
Oh, you got them.
Yeah, I'm holding them.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was because again, I'm thinking about future enhancements to Apple's AI department. But there was a question I think that Neil was getting ready to answer for the gentleman.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, what was the question again, Bobby? Because now I have it up.
Damn, I didn't mean it. Well, I was looking at the when we was talking earlier. I was looking at this new one that you told us about. This, I think somebody in the chat, maybe Marquise, the Strat Teach V2.
Right. What was the question about it?
Well, the question was, it was showing lines at I'm looking at Nike, so it was showing lines at $78, well, $77, and then at $77.90. So I wanted to know if those were support lines or resistance lines.
Oh, so I'm sure when you first pull it up, it's already in default settings. What color is the line? Is it green?
Oh, yeah, it's green. Yeah, it's showing green. Yeah, one of them's green, one of them's red, and it says TARL and TARH, which I know is high and low in there. Some,
Right. Yeah, that's the target time frame on the daily.
Okay.
Right. Green would be the high, and then the L would be the low. So right, you're reading it correctly.
Okay, that the one that he gave, that Marquise gave us, gives you that in there too, and I want to say it gives you like an ATR chart too,
right,
on hours. Oh, okay. And then I had a question for Mark. It was basically about the same thing on the when he was marking out those yellow, and he was showing support and resistance too on how he reads his plays. Am I correct?
Yeah, I'm just measuring support and resistance from the 1 day time frame in to get surgical with the trade so I can map out my levels of how I want to move for the day on that particular play.
Okay.
Yeah, I would highly recommend just going back and watching the replay.
Always.
Because that thing, it takes some time. It hits probably about 93 to 94% of the time. But the trends always reverse, and that's where other things help, like your EMAs and so forth. Okay.
Okay. Because I did. I went back 2 or 3 times on Neil and King's, and I love your mindset, because it was kind of like, I hate to say it, but it was kind of like a pimp in a relationship with the market, because you can't have feelings for anything. Even if you win, you can't have a feeling. If you lose, you can't have a feeling. So it's like, and that's what I got from it. And just having
Bobby,
a plan
chill,
set up. But that's what I get. That's my interpretation of it. That's just what it seemed like. You just can't cure. You can't have feelings for the market.
King is very good at that.
Yeah, he breaks it so simple.
Iceberg King.
Chill, yeah.
and Neil really opened up a lot of doors when he broke down the boxes, because you're looking at the boxes and you're like, I don't know what these things are doing. So now once he said that, then I noticed the dark blue line, the dark blue numbers. I noticed the purple. I noticed the yellow. Like then I'm in tune with what I'm looking at versus just looking at a screen.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Well, so I appreciate the
Mark, I have a question.
Compliment, Bob.
Okay, this is.
I just want to speak to Bobby real quick. So when you're since you understand it from that perspective, right? Just make sure when you're playing in the market, you keep that pimp hand high. All right?
That pimp hand strong.
Well, look, guys. I know somebody has one more question. We're over time, and I know King and Neil and myself, we all have a pretty tight schedule. So I'm going to answer this one last question that somebody was getting ready to ask, and then I'm going to ask that you excuse yourselves. All right?
The high of the day you say was 5.99 something on SPY.
Yep, and we just broke it.
But then that it was like 600 and something.
No, the high of the 10-minute time frame. I'm sorry because I got surgical on the 10-minute. The actual high of the day, yes, is like around 599.98 from what I mapped out from the one day and zoomed in. It's right around 600. But if we get back to it, then we're definitely going to flip bullish. And then if we get above 666 on SPY, we're going to run. But I had a level of the high. Well, the high on that 10-minute time frame was like 599.20. And I had a alert. Actually, it was 599.13. And I had an alert set entitled ugly. So we broke that and then it came back down. So it was just a dead cat bounce. So I got a
Right. Thank
little
you.
bit more surgical on the shorter time frames, Mr. 809. So we start mapping out when we look at the whole body, then we pinpoint, and then sometimes while we pinpoint it, we still have to make adjustments on those shorter ones too, because we may see something else because of the time frame that we're watching. Okay? Does that
All
make sense?
right, sounds good. Thank you. Yes.
All right.